When I was drafted in 1952, I was originally from Warren County, but we moved to Pittsburgh area. My dad was looking for a job. So I was drafted in 52, and there were 600 of us drafted in Pittsburgh at that time. We went to on train to Fort Meade, Maryland, which was, most of us went to Fort Campbell, Kentucky for basic training. Had to get on a plane in Pittsburgh and fly to Seattle. Man, I'll tell you what, that plane, they had to land it in Chicago, was so rough because, man, I couldn't, oh man, I never on a plane before. And, oh my God, it's going up and down, oh, that's made me so sick. So we got to Seattle, and then we went, after I got all straightened out, got on a ship. I got the picture of the ship I was on. It was a troop carrier, 3,000 men on that ship. We were packed in there like sardines. And then we went to Sasebo, Japan to pick up our weapons and hard hats. And then from there we just hop-skipped to Korea, Busan, Korea. It was quite an experience seeing. It's unbelievable how people were living in cardboard boxes. Oh God, it was awful. From there we went to a train station, got on a train. Experience, I'll tell you what, it's, if you wanted to go to the restroom, you went to, I think there was one in the back too, but I know there was one in the front restroom. You went in there and the sliding doors, and you put your foot on this plank and the other foot on another plank and held on for dear life. There was a railroad. there was no pot there. You count the railroad ties and you went over. Then we got to the front lines, and chaplain talked to us before we went up to tell us that whatever you do, don't eat anything that comes out of their gardens, because they use human waste for fertilizer and it'll make you deathly sick. He told us a story about the cat that was going across the railroad tracks. He says, the cat was going across the railroad tracks and a train came by and cut part of its tail off. And the cat hurried, turned around to see what the worst other part of his tail was, and he got his head cut off. The moral of the story is don't lose your head over a piece of tail. We were sent to the front lines. I was with the 3rd Division, and I was a little woolly. I must have had quite a few months, weeks without a haircut. And the guy says, come on, we're digging in. The engineers were there blowing the trees down, cutting with detonator cord. And he said, come on, I'll give you a haircut. Okay, so sit on this rock. And he had the hand clippers, and he gave me a haircut. He shaved me completely bald. I didn't have a hair on my head. Oh my God. So we were there for, I don't know how long we were on the front lines. And finally they signed the armistice. And then we went back to the whole division, met on the parade field someplace or another. And Sigmund Rhee got up and addressed us. He wanted to thank us for coming over. And someday, if you could come back and see South Korea again, you're welcome. So from there, I figured, well, we're going home. Signed the armistice, we're going home. So they sent me to a depot, and I went to the 40th Division, California National Guards. And I went with Heavy Weapons Company, which I was trained for. and I had a section of 105 recoilless rifles up on the 38th parallel. I had two bunkers. One bunker on one hill, another bunker on another hill, and I had to keep everybody in line for that. We did have some heat, I think, but we didn't have no light at all. And just quite an experience. One night I was standing out by my gun emplacement, and this corporal, I don't know what he was doing up there. He wasn't with my outfit. He come up there and he had a carbine with a 30-round clip in it, another one taped together so he could just flip it over and get another 30 rounds. And it was darker than the ace of spades. I said to him, I said, "Did you see that Black Panther go across the road down there?" He said, "Where?" I said, "Down there, there's a Black Panther, went up there on that hill." He took that carbine, he emptied it out on that hill. I'm glad there was nobody up there. Could have killed him. Boy, the next morning, all the brass come up the hill, colonels, and they want to know what was going on. Never seen that guy again. I got going over to my other gun position. If we wanted water, we had to take a 5-gallon can, 2 men, and go down to the company area, which was over a half a mile, and carry 5 gallons of water up every day. We had no restrooms, nothing. So that was my Howe company. And then went over to the other bunker, and I was attached to Easy Company, which was a little further down the hill. If we wanted food, if we wanted to eat with them, we were welcome. Go down, get something to eat. Oh my. Food wasn't the best. And, we survived. So when the 40th Division, they said, the 40th Division is going home. Oh boy, we're going home. We're surely going home this trip. So went back to the rear, and we were at a depot there, and there were all these guys looking what to do, and this little second lieutenant, 90-day wonder, he says, "Hey, you want to be in the Division Honor Guard? What are you going to do?" "Oh, march a little bit." "Yeah, I'll try that." So I signed up for that and got away from the rest of the crew. In the meantime, I ran into a friend of mine who went through basic training with me. And he said, "We got run over by the Chinese, Ed." I said, "Really?" "Yeah." He says, "The Chinese just come in, just running." And he says, just run right over top of us. So he says, and then I got to the division, and I was sergeant of the guard. That was my last job to do, sergeant of the guard for the division. And then finally they sent us home. But when they sent us home, they had to send me home right now because my time was up. I went across, I got on a boat, someplace or another, I don't know where it was at, and sailed across the Pacific. It was so smooth, and come into San Francisco, flew across the United States in a plane to Fort Meade, and got discharged. I was lucky, very lucky to make it without having any problems. A lot of mental problems though, a lot of mental problems. Think about that every day. I spent 16 months in Korea. I was there when they signed the armistice. It was sometime in July. I was on the front lines in July. And when I got home in, it was probably October, November of '54, they had to turn me loose right now because my time was up. And they say somebody's going back to the rear, and I give them some money, and they bring me a bunch of cans of sardines. I I didn't like some of the food they served. So I ate as many sardines as I could. The food was, well, I guess it was all right. The sea rations, and I had a penknife. And they gave you these little can openers that I could never work. And I take my little case knife, a small blade, and go around there and open that sea ration can up and eat the sea ration. It's a different world. To see something like that, when we was on the train, waiting to go up to the front line, this woman walked out in the middle of the tracks and squatted down, let it go right there, relieved herself. Oh God, it was, to see people, how people lived, to see what people are like over there today. I got a book on South Korea, and they ship out millions of dollars worth of stuff every year, and they import almost exactly the same. That's a good country as far as I'm concerned, when they can balance it out, you know. But it's really something. My last dream, I don't think I'll ever fulfill it, but I'd love to go back to Korea and go up there on them hills and see what it's like. When I was right on the DMZ, you could see the Chinese over there working on the other side. We were doing too much work, and we were just watching because we didn't work. The engineers did all our work for us. Made the bunkers and fixed the roads up. It's quite different.